So I came to a realization with my most recent unboxing. This is actually an update video to that one, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. Um, I realized that I look a lot better with shorter hair, and two, I realized that setting up the camera for something really tiny in my hands, like down here, and then I'm going to show it to you like this, out of focus is inefficient, I suppose, considering the camera that I'm using and that I can't zoom it or anything like that before I hit record, you know. Or correction, I do have to. I do have to. I have to pre-focus and I have to pre-zoom and do all that stuff before I hit record. And then when it actually comes down to it, I have to kind of pick: is the focus going to be here? Is the focus going to be back here? I mean, I have to go through the whole thing. But then, when I finally hold the thing up to the tiny thing that's barely any bigger than my hand, by the way, I held it up here and you can't even see it. So, yes, this is an unboxing, but I think I'm going to try doing it this way, and I would appreciate the feedback if, this is better, or if over at the bed over there is a better idea. Do the larger things over there and do the smaller ones here. I don't get many small things in my collection, but whatever. So yes, this is an update. I finally got Twinferno, Twinception, as I prefer to think of him. I finally figured out the hip panels here. It was a pain in the ass to do it too, and honestly, it's these C-shaped hip panels that you're putting under a lot of pressure, and you have to turn it in like this, and you're having to fight it and force it. But because of how thin the plastic is and the fact that it's not layered plastic, like it's not two pieces of plastic put together, it's a single layer of ABS, it distorts. There's going to be wiggle space in there. And the problem with that is the way they've got the peg-in system, or the tab-in system located on the inside here, the thing I was struggling with in the previous video, makes it damn difficult to get these into place. You have to put a lot of pressure and you have to twist it in a lot of directions it's not really meant for. Oh, finally. Oh, shit, I broke it. Well, no, I didn't actually break it, but the point is, I'm having to put an inordinate amount of pressure onto these plates, and I just don't like it. So I chalk that one up to engineering. That's not a quality control thing. Well, it might be quality control, but it's definitely an engineering problem at the very least. The same thing kind of goes for the backpack cannons here. You have to really push those tabs in, and I feel like the gray plastic on on the back of his torso has become distorted and is going to become cracked over time. So Twinferno didn't get away unscathed. Well, technically speaking, yes, he did get away unscathed. Is he going to be my favorite from the line? Not necessarily. No. Is it a character I've always wanted? No. Am I going to keep it? Sure. Anyways, he's kind of a weird one, and that's just how it's going to turn out. Moving on, then, we have Trigger Happy. I still freaking love this thing, even a week later. This thing is really, really awesome. The right hand has popped off 3 times now. 2 or 3? Yeah, it's popped off 3 times now. Which, it's just from, putting the rifle in and pulling the rifle out. It's just kind of all that you really can do. And sometimes it also comes from simply flipping the hand out. It'll just, there it is. So, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Also, the side panels, or the side torso panels that you have to flip around for the transformation, those things are really, really difficult to get out. You have to pull them out intentionally for both modes. And I just know I'm putting a lot of strain on on the shoulder joint, transformation shoulder joint right there. So, yeah, I think it's more the size of this figure that kind of gets in the way of it. And as I said in the other video, I'd love to have a knockoff Voyager of this or something like that. This guy needs to be a Voyager. This is way too damn fun. I'm kind of in love with Trigger Happy, I like to point out, because after I did the video, I was doing the research, and I found that G1 Trigger Happy. Oh my god, I want that now. By the way, the G1 Trigger Happy is not much bigger than this, so Ah, yes, I love trigger happy. This is awesome. I really like this. I also figured out how to get the Titan Master into the cockpit in vehicle mode, so that helped out a bit. So yay. Nothing wrong with this guy. He turned out fine. And there was, this is Tread Shot? Or is this Sky Tread? I think this is Sky Tread. Sky Tread is Sky Tread. His hips have become really loose, I've noticed, or at least the friction inside his hip joints has become really loose. It's not a lack of friction, but it is really loose compared to when I pulled it out. And that's mostly comes from having to insert him into the tank here and then wiggle and push. You have to both wiggle side to side and push in at the same time. It puts a lot of stress onto the hip joints, and so I may have ruined it a little bit. So that's not quality control, but that might be an engineering thing. I don't know. I think they could have done the peg slightly differently. And as for the other peg that I have to worry about, the trigger handle peg thing is still a pain in the ass to get out. Although the friction on it, on the ratchet joint, why'd they make it ratchet? I don't know. But anyways, that has loosened up a little bit, so it's not as difficult to get out as it used to be. So, was this Sky Tread? Is that what this guy's called? I can't think of his name. Yeah, he's fine. He's cool. He's awesome. I still like him. This is good. I would rather have gotten Terrible, but I like this. So like the color scheme is not my favorite, but I still like the toy itself. And then we move on to the main event of this unboxing, and that is Brawn. The main difference, the main thing that, let's see. How do I just, okay, yeah, so here's, oh, very out of focus. So there's one tab, very out of focus. I can't get any closer than this, unfortunately. There's a tab, and there's a hole right there. The problem is that the hole and the tab are misaligned with each other. They'll never ever fit together. And that was because these back two panels are duplicates of the front two panels, which it's not supposed to be. The front two tractor tread assemblies are a specific shape, and then the back two assemblies are supposed to be a different shape. It's not supposed to have, the front two duplicated on the back, and that's why this is a flawed version. And this was a quality control issue. This was not an engineering problem, as I pointed out in the previous video. Let's see, today is Friday. Well, it's almost Saturday. Let's see, I filmed that on Friday or Saturday, I don't remember. And then Monday, I went to a live chat with a Hasbro representative, nice person. And I said, hey, I've got a defective, not broken, but just defective unit. Can we do something here? Can we, do you want me to return this and get a new one? They said, no, you can keep this, but it is out of stock. We're not making it anymore. No surprise there, whatever. So what we're going to do instead is we will send you a new figure from our warehouse. And I asked her, I didn't want to be rude at the opportunity of getting a free toy from the Transformers toy line, but she beat me to the punch by saying it will be randomly selected by the warehouse. So it's sitting right here in front of me in the package, and I have no idea what the factory sent me, or what the warehouse sent me. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, I paid $6 for this plus tax. It was $5.99 plus tax, or not including tax. So $5.99, $6 from Fred Meyer's. I got this, so I've got this. And this comes from North Las Vegas, and this cost me $15 plus shipping and handling. Actually, the 15 was part of the shipping and handling. Where is there it is. Oh, don't drop it. And this got to me today, and I actually ordered this on Monday, and it came in on Friday, so yay. And I can verify it does have the proper pieces. All I had to do was look at the side, and I could tell it does have the proper pieces, so yay, pitch. Although it may have been bent a little bit during shipping from the factory originally. Whatever. Oh, this is kind of behaving like it's been opened before. Don't you dare fall out, brawn replacement. I know the photo that I used from tfwiki.net is not the greatest, and I actually had that zoomed in pretty far. I had it magnified pretty large compared to how the original one is. But the main difference, and I don't know how well I can do this. You can see there's two, how do I say this? There's two barrels here for the front tractor treads, and then there's two more on the back. You'll just have to take my word for it. And the problem with this first version that I had is not only that the peg was not lining up with the hole. That was not the only problem. But the other problem is that the pegs were actually overlapping with each other, which was also a problem. So which means that tread was, you can see it's properly lined up here, and it's not properly lined up here. You can see it's tilted at an oh so slight angle. I think it might be better if I did both of them at the same time. So that's how I knew that something was going on. It wasn't just that when these panels were folded away, these were not tabbing in properly. It was also that when these were pushed in, these were not pushed in properly. And I noticed that straight out of the box at the time. So that is the flaw with this, because it has duplicates, and they actually are hinged in different locations. They had to have different pieces. So this new figure, or this properly done up figure, let's see, you could see there's the barrel down there, and then there's the barrel up there. And you can see it is, oops, I'll do it this way. You can see that they are both properly aligned. So this is how it should be. So yes, right out of the box, this is properly built. The other difference, which I didn't know until I, got away from the camera and looked at the reason I knew the difference was not just because of the alignment of these things, but the key difference to knowing it is that the shape of this kind of cowling, I guess it would be, this cover over the top of the tractor tread is different from the cover on that one. This one's a little more trapezoid fashion. It's like a square with the two sides are caved inwards a little bit. So that's what this is, as opposed to this, which is more of a slanted triangle. So that's kind of the key thing. Like, I kept watching the videos, and they're like so far away I couldn't tell the difference until I noticed are they called fairings? The housing, not fairings, but the housing covers or whatever it is. Excuse me, for the tractor tread assemblies, that is the main problem, or that is the difference between them. It's not just the alignments of the pegs and the holes; it's also simply the shape of the part. So now I'm kind of stuck with the issue of now I've got two bronze, one's defective, one's not. Obviously, I'm keeping the new one for myself, but the question is what to do with the broken one. Well, no, again, it's not broken. It's defective is the word I'm looking for. I suppose I could take it to Bobacon, but I don't think they'd appreciate having a defective product. On the other hand, they do have a number of like knockoffs or whatever it is over there, so I guess they'd take it. I don't know. It's only $6. What kind of money could I make off of that thing? Probably no more than, I don't know, $1 or $2 maybe. I don't know, the cardboard and packaging probably costs more. So here's the jet bike mode, which is fine. Let's see. Put that down, slip his head in, push up on the handle, which is a really weird, really strange way of doing it, but if it works. Here's the Jeep mode with the head properly in place. I'm told this is supposed to resemble his G1 version, which I didn't show a picture of in the previous version, so there's that. So, yay. Those do fit, right? Yeah, they do. Oh, great, I got another defective toy. Hooray. So that's in position. The armament mode, I guess. You're supposed to fold the back tractor treads forward. So you take the hover bike, I guess is what it is, the jet bike. You flip it upside down, and then you take the back two treads and you flip them forward. So yeah, so that way all four of these little mini barrels are facing forward at the same time. So technically, it's a quad-barreled rifle. And I'm going to use Trigger Happy here because he likes to shoot things. Attach Brawn, because the heads are not affiliated. For the most part, they're not affiliated. As soon as I say, oh, they're not affiliated with anyone. Wow. It's not fitting. Well, maybe I did attach it wrong. Let's see. And again, you have to turn the Titan Master's head around 180 degrees every single time, which means it's going to inevitably wear out the friction on it very quickly, which is something that I had a problem with previously. So here's Trigger Happy with Brawn's head on it. See how focused it is? Yay, camera focus, autofocus. And then I'm going to attempt to attach a handle which loves to pop in, or loves to slip every single time, which is the exact same thing that I encountered with Twinferno. Yeah. And then we'll take his other gun, stick it on the outside of his arms because that's awesome, or the outside of his forearm because that's awesome. Really, he doesn't even need hands at this point, but I guess he needs to be able to wield the weapon. So there it is. There's Trigger Happy, Decepticon Trigger Happy wielding Autobot Brawn, Titan Master Autobot Brawn. See how to focus in this? I can't see. There we go. There. So there's that. Hooray! Problem solved. Except that I'm almost $16 out more. You know, I paid for a deluxe class figure as a replacement for a Titan Master figure. I just got to figure out what to do with this broken one. Again, Ava, not broken. Did I say dysfunctional? What was the word I used? Yeah, this thing. Anyways. So, that's taken care of. But now there's this question of what's in here. So this actually showed up yesterday. This showed up on Thursday. Today's Friday. Well, it's almost Saturday. So, let's find out what's in here. Gave no indication. By the way, I asked the representative if they could give me a copy of the chat session so that I could have it for my records, just in case, you know, something went wrong here. She said, sure. Still waiting on that copy of the chat session. Fortunately, I saved a copy of it beforehand, so let's see. What did we get? We get... I had actually looked at this guy in... I had actually looked at this guy in Fred Meyer's, and it was kind of a toss-up of which one I was going to get. It's Autobot Taro, which looks very backwards on my screen, but don't worry, I'll have it mirrored and everything like that when I edit this. That's funny. So I thought it was going to be I thought this would be a Power of the Primes figure because they're the same size. I was like, oh, it's going to be a Power of the Primes. What are they called? Prime Masters or something like that. So I thought it was going to be one of those, but no, it turns out it was another Titans Returns figure. This is okay. This is fine with me. Cool. Now I don't have to worry about getting another one. And he's an Autobots, so Twinferno will be able to dual wield. So, yay. That's funny. Now I will have to transform him. Screw it. I'll stick it on Trigger Happy. Well, they never said what figure it was going to be. So, and you know, I wasn't going to make any requests or anything like that because I asked, do you want me to return it? And they said no. So, I got a free figure out of it. So, 2 for the price of 1. I thought it was going to be a Titan Master because I thought Titans Returns was it last year or was it 2017 or 2016 when Titan Masters came out, or Titans Return? I don't remember. It must have been 2017 because that's when I got the other two. Why am I doing scissors for that part? because it would have been 2017 when I got Triptychon and what's he called? Freaking Hardhead and what was the other one? Gosh, how am I forgetting the names of these figures? It's Hardhead and Broadside. That was his name. I have no idea who this guy is. What homage he does. What? Obviously G1 might have been a pretender, maybe. I don't know my G1 lines very well. Again, no paint on the face. I want to say it was Broadside's Titan Master who had paint on his face, and it was just the visor. So here's the Titan Master, as out of focus and tiny as you can possibly get. So there's that. Oh, it's a longbow of some kind, I think, or short bow, depending how you look at it. So here's the vehicle mode, I'm guessing, or I guess it'd be the riding form. I have no idea how you stick the figure in here. Gee, Ava, maybe if you pulled out the instructions, it wouldn't be such a mystery. Oh, you must be joking. Do I? No. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to pull out the instructions. Alright. Because, lazy. By the way, that thing with Twinferno's instructions, it literally took me about 5 minutes to fold them up properly. It was stupid how long that took. And again, you can't read it. It's so tiny you can't read it because, it has to fit in the packaging. But then they compound the problem. I mean, it wouldn't even matter if they were tiny or not, and they were photographs or not, whatever. But these are not photographs. These are CGI images. CGI. This is CGI, but they're gray on a black background. I know it's out of focus, but, I mean, you're kind of going to get the point. Look at this. And yes, it is out of focus, but just how exactly, and this is just promo stuff on the bottom down here, whatever. It's all this right here. How am I, 35-year-old adult, how am I supposed to be able to read this shit? I'm a collector, by the way. I don't use glasses. I don't need glasses. And it's like, I need a magnifying glasses. Okay, this is bullshit. Oh, you approach it from below. Alright. So you open up the panel on the bottom and then you stick his feet through. Interesting choice. You force it to go in. There we go. And then you close the panel underneath. So yeah, you have to insert him from underneath, and then he just hangs out on top. That's kind of it. And then he has, whoa, okay, wow, all right. So it does have an opening mouth, but it kind of comes at the cost of, well, the transformation of the entire head. Okay, so remove the Titan Master. Flip the head around 180. And snap it into position somehow. I'm not sure. Wait, does this flip all the way around? Oh yeah, it does. Or does it? No, it does not. Okay. So that flips around 180. Ava, that thing that you were complaining about in the previous video about reviewers saying out loud what they do for the next stages and whatever. You are actually doing that. Well, the difference between what they're doing and what I'm doing is that this is not a review. This is an exploration. I have no idea what kind of vehicle this is, but whatever. By the way, if there's any error with Trigger Happy, it would be that a lot of people have complained that the twin shotgun rifle thingies, no Titan Master will ever, you can't peg them in there. It's impossible. So that's probably the only flaw to him, and that's universally recognized. Like the way the two rifles go together, you can't get it to fit properly. Okay, I need you to lean back. Come on. There you go. Get comfortable in your command chair. Is that it? That is it. So here is Taro. Taro. In his, I don't know, what do we want to call this? A battle sled mode? Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea what that is. What that's supposed to be. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. It doesn't have any wheels, so presumably it's a hover vehicle of some kind, so whatever. Okay, now let's turn it into an actual weapon. The other problem with having to put the head in and then turn it around 180 degrees is not just wearing out the friction of the ball joint, but considering how tiny the ball joint actually is, when you pull it out, you're going to have a tendency, and it's probably already happened by now, you're going to have this issue where you're actually going to pull the Titan Master's head, which serves as the neck. The whole thing will pop out and stay stuck in the neck attachment point. So, you know, that's going to be a problem as well. The ball joint on this left shoulder is already going, and I'm disappointed considering I've only had this for a week. But that's probably a side effect of the thing I was telling you about where you having to pull the side torsos out. There's not a lot of room, so you inevitably end up pulling on the shoulder joints rather than on the torso sections. That's where the problem comes in. It's a handsome face. I like that face. It is a nice face. Okay, so he's attached. And let's see which side. Yeah, you're going to want to hold this in his left hand so you can aim with the right. And you'll put less pressure on his right hand. Right. So there is the, I don't know. I guess it'd be more of a crossbow kind of weapon, maybe. But there's the crossbow mode. Cross mode? Crossbowed? So it's a thing. That's kind of the reason why I didn't choose this particular one, is because I didn't know anything about it at the time when I was looking at it in Fred Meyer's, and I don't know, I couldn't see what the weapon mode was because they're not featured anywhere on here. What time is it? Okay, now it's Saturday the 17th. So yes, there is trigger happy with yet another weapon. It's a strange weapon. I don't know if I like this one or not. Whatever. But I got it for free, so I guess I shouldn't complain too loudly. Although maybe it's a case of I purchased 4 Titan Masters, one of them defective, so we'll get rid of that. So I purchased 3 Titan Masters for the price of 4. I guess is how this works out. Not sure. Because it was $15 and change to get this from Las Vegas, and that's kind of the equivalent of 2 of these things. So 1 and 2, and the free one there. So I guess it kind of balances out at the end of the day. Spent my money's worth and all that. Okay. So, not sure about the focusing. I thought there was an autofocus on this camera. I'm not certain. I'm gonna have to dig again. I adjusted the resolution so it's a slightly larger picture, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so let me know if this version of an unboxing for smaller figures works out better. If you guys think they worked out better that way, as opposed to setting up over there and having the potato and shooting from really far away. Also, I've got a dedicated microphone that I can How long has this been going? I have no idea. Did it stop? It's been going for 40 minutes. Dude. 40 minutes. For 2 Titan Masters. 40 minutes. Oh, Christ. And I thought that, an hour and 15 minutes raw, unedited, for 2 Titan Masters and 2 Deluxe class figures was bad. Now it's 40 minutes for 2 Titan Masters. I'm slipping. So let me see if I got this straight. Power Rangers, which is based off of Super Sentai, is breaking away from Bandai America, which used to import all the toys from Super Sentai, which comes from Japan. And now you've got... Oh, I forgot the light. Now you've got a competitor to Bandai is now producing the toys for a TV series that comes from Japan that is being edited into an American series. So a competitor is now producing toys for a TV series that they are not responsible. How did Hasbro get into this? Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, Hasbro producing the toys for Power Rangers starting in 2019. It's going to be spring 2019 when this all goes down. Is an amazing turnaround. Is an amazing thing that's going to be happening because Transformers has been around forever, and we've all seen that Power Ranger. I'm sorry. We've all seen. Yeah, okay. We've all seen that Bandai America's much cheaper offerings have literally gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. I think it's gotten to the point where the collectors and the parents were complaining so loudly and for so long that somehow this got back to, how do you pronounce his name? Haim Saban? The guy who created Saban Entertainment? Well, I'm sorry, Saban Brands. I mean, this is the kind of thing that, like, when Disney purchased Saban Entertainment, it's that kind of shakeup, except that, like, what is the legal ramifications of, like, you can't, so is it like Power Rangers is still going to be getting original toys that are not imported from Japan, but then at the same time you need to, the copyright holders, somebody explain this to me. Or is it just still, only 48 hours since this announcement was made that, like, nobody knows how this is going to work? Because I'll tell you, just like, wow. I mean, don't get me wrong. Perfect example, Hasbro knows how to make small figures that are of good quality. Are they still going to make 12-inch deluxe transforming figures that that are posable on a regular basis and still only sell for $50? That would be nice. Deluxe transforming Megazord that can pose and it can transform effectively. That'd be pretty awesome. But then on the other hand, I heard an interesting thing, and I don't have any of the Q Ranger figures that I had, or the Q Ranger mecha that I had are now on the shelf, so I'm not going to go get them. I heard an interesting theory that Bandai of America had specifically asked Plex to design the Q Ranger mecha simpler so that they could produce it for Power Rangers for cheaper. And that's the reason why the transformations for all the Q Ranger mecha were so simple. That's apparently and I don't know if this is conspiracy theory or if this is fact, that Bandai America was influencing Plex for their Super Sentai designs so that when they imported the designs, Bandai America wouldn't have to actually work to produce them. This is, like I said, this is conspiracy theory kind of stuff in terms of Power Rangers and, Super Sentai transitioning over into Power Rangers. So, like, I don't get it. Like, I hope, like everybody else, I'm hoping that Hasbro brings something good to the table. Like, they've proven themselves in the last 30 is it 35 years now that Transformers has been out? 35 years, thereabouts. It had to have been because I'm 35 35 and a half years old, and it came out just after I was born. So it'd probably be, what, 33, 32 years old at this point. So they certainly have experience with big figures, and they have experience with little figures. I mean, all you have to do is look at Triptychon or Combiner Wars to see, or Power of the Primes to see what combining mecha are like, or what giant figures are like. So this is, I mean, it's not going to be anything new in terms of what Hasbro's capable of doing. I'm just worried about the legal ramifications of, are they going to be, like, is the importing of the Megazords and stuff, is that going to be coming back? I don't know at this time. Are they going to be importing those original Super Sentai DX figures once again? Because pretty much since 2009-ish, they haven't imported anything from Japan. It's been all original designs since then, or almost all original designs since then. So I don't know what this transition thing is going to be like. What the like? Will they be importing Bandai of Japan figures through Hasbro's trademark, or through Hasbro's distribution network to American audiences and bypassing Bandai of America altogether? Or is it going to be Power Rangers is going to have no association whatsoever, toy-wise, with Bandai anything, and it's just going to be all produced in-house from here on out? If that's the case, there's two possibilities. There's two things that we can think of here. One, Power Ranger fans might. This is me talking out of my ass at this point. So, one, we might get some original series that have no connection whatsoever to what Bandai Toei Plex are doing over in Japan. So we might get entire seasons of original suits, original villains, original characters, original robot designs, mecha designs. We might actually, that was kind of the dream of some Power Ranger fans, PR fans, is that, well, why can't they make original figures? Why can't they make an original series? Well, it's because the fighting footage and all that stuff, which you import from Toei, it has to match that. So the question is, with this transition to Hasbro producing the toys, will that break away from Bandai and Plex? And will they be able to make a TV series of a complete season of Power Rangers on Nickelodeon, which forces them to have that mid-season break, in which case you get, Samurai and Super Samurai, you get Megaforce and Super Megaforce, that kind of bullshit. Nickelodeon does that thing. And I just lost my train of thought. Will there be original series of Power Rangers that do not air? The original footage does not come from Japan. I don't know. It's pretty expensive to make original designs, because you have to pay the designers and the production designers, and you have to put extra money into it. And the kind of Power Rangers has been kind of getting away with that for the better part of 30 years. And the other possibility, so the second possibility is, will there be the Dream Team crossover of Power Rangers and Transformers? Those are the two big questions. Is that, will there be original series that are not based anything at all on Super Sentai, and will there be a Transformers crossover? At least those are the two questions that come to mind for me. So, I don't know the legal ramifications of this, but it's going to be a really interesting ride come 2019. I think the Q Ranger is the show they're going to adapt. I think they kind of heard the backlash of the Minecraft cubes, and they decided to just kind of, thanks, we're good. Just like they skipped on the trains. I still don't understand why it is they skipped on the trains. Well, it's probably because they fucked up the trains, so that's probably why they didn't do it. Okay, I'm done, and I'm sliding down onto my seat. So before I entirely disappear out of frame, this is Ava Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in. Oh shit. Ah, now I'm stuck. Ah, ah my pants. Ah.